Hi, welcome back to another video with Indigo Math. Today I'm going to show you the area of a circle. Let's start. So we know that the area of a circle is given by the formula. Let me just write it down here for easy reference. Equals to pi times radius, or your school teacher would say pi r squared. Now remember, don't be tricked by the exam question. The radius is just any point from the center of the circle to the arc of a circle. When I say the arc of a circle, I'm referring to the curved part of the circle. So it must touch like the perimeter of the circle, like the outline of the circle. So this one here is considered a radius. I've marked it out as R. This one here is also considered the radius here. This one in red is also the radius. So just take note, as long as it's from the center all the way to the outline of the circle, it's considered the radius. So let's see how we can apply that formula in this question. So over here, we see that we've got a logo for our poster as shown, and I'm required to find the total area of the shaded logo. We have got 3 repeated shapes, right? This is one of them. Another one is here, I'm circling in yellow. And the last one is here in blue. So let's take the shortcut. I'm just going to find the area of one of them, then I times 3 later. So let's find the area of one of them. Maybe we focus to the one on the green that I've circled in green. We have got this dimension of 14 cm. If I've got this dimension of 14 cm here, do you realize this piece here, it's actually a quadrant with radius of 14. How do I know it's a radius? Because this is the center of part of a circle, and then all the way out to here, this is part of the arc of the circle. So this chunk here is 14 cm, which means this one here, I'm going to mark it out in green, will also be 14 cm. So let's start by finding the area of this quadrant. And do you also realize that this semicircle here that I'm shading is actually the same as this semicircle here? So actually I can just move it here. So together, all I need to do to find this would be area of the quadrant that I'm highlighting now in blue plus area of the semicircle here that I'm highlighting now in green. So let's see. Area of a quadrant. Quadrant means it's a quarter of a circle, right? So I would take, let me just write it down, area of quadrant equals to 1/4 times pi. Now be very careful. In this question, it says pi is 22/7. So please use that value. 22/7 times radius square. What's the radius? It was 14 as we said earlier, right? So I'm just going to write 14 square. So recap, this one that I'm finding now, I'm referring to the whole quadrant here because I have already moved the shaded part over to the other side. So I'm talking about this entire portion here now. So this is the area of the quadrant that we're looking for. Putting these together, you will eventually get 154 cm squared. Now let's move on to find the area of the smaller semicircle. Area of the smaller semicircle is the one that we've talked about in green, that I've shaded in green. Let me shade it again here. Do we have the dimensions of the radius? You see here at the bottom, I'm given 7 cm. 7 cm, take note, it's not the radius, it's the diameter of the circle. So if you want a radius, you need to divide that by 2. Putting that in, area of the small semicircle would just be, because semicircle means half of a circle, right? That's why I would need to times half times pi. Again, pi, take note, please use the question value of pi is 22/7 times the radius. Not 7. We need to divide 7 by 2 because 7 is the diameter. Whole thing, you would square it. So let's square it, and this would give us 19.625. So if I add up these two areas, I would just be getting the area of one of the patterns. So now I want 3 of them, right? Putting everything together, total shaded area would just be 154 plus your 19.625. This is one of them. We need to multiply that by 3. So I will write that times 3, and I would get 519.75 cm squared, and that's our answer. You see these questions that we're doing now in primary school? Actually, similar ones do appear in secondary school, but now we're throwing things like algebra. So come join us for some fun events, and we'll show you that secondary math really isn't scary with algebra. See you soon!